Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yippers. Oh, yeah. How goes it tonight? Are you lonely tonight? How the heck is it going? Is it going all right? How's it going with you? Yeah. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, 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 nice. Woo! Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yep, that's what it is. It's a wiggle. Oh, my goodness. Yes, sir. Bye. Yeah. How have you been? Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong on so many levels. So we got the Wuhan wiggle, then we got the forced lockdowns, and then the 5-7 that equals pi. Now the photo of the thumbnail is our favorite computer nerd getting a pie to the face by about 3 individuals within 30 seconds. Sure did. That's proof of it. So what's really going to be interesting is this is just my opinion, but I believe they're not going to alleviate any of the lockdowns until they have the unseen roll up your sleeve. Do you know why? Because if they open things up, you would open up the court systems. As soon as you open the court systems, they're going to be flooded with lawsuits that would keep that from happening. But under a national emergency, under martial law or something like that, they have dictatorial powers that are absolutely unconstitutional. You can't do anything about it. Yep. True story. Whereas you open up, allow people to go back to work, and you open up those courses. I don't know about you. I'm gonna file one immediately. Absolutely. Because I know it's all BS. And guess what's going to be on the mind? The 5-7. Because I can prove to you right now, after investigating it further, the big 5-7 impedes and actually makes devices like pacemakers fail. How would that be possible? Look it up. I want you to. Listen, your radio that you'd plug into the wall, that's unionizing radiation. Your microwave is unionizing radiation. Sure is. Your IoT, which is Internet of Things, is unionizing radiation. That's a pure fact. But guess what? Your 5-7 operationals is from 24 to 29 gigahertz through an absolute span of 300, and under MIMO it's 60. Well, your microwave oven is 2.4 gigahertz. Here, let me explain it to you. This is I'm gonna give you an example about the 6 foot distancing. I'm gonna show you what it means. All right. If you take one grape and you put it in the microwave, watch what happens to it. Just turn it on for about a minute. Now take 2 grapes and have them touching each other for 1 minute. Watch what happens. It's going to turn those grapes into plasma. Are you aware of this? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Last time I checked, a grape is 98% water. Yeah, fascinating, isn't it? Because then you have what's inside the grate, and then it's, again, that's it. Rest of it's moisture. So if you got the big 5-7, and whether it's directional or not, whether it's coming from the satellite feeds, whether it's coming from a transmitter to tower to receiver, the phone itself, whether it's coming from towers inline or not, look up the ratio of your microwave oven being unionizing is 2.4 gigahertz. 2.4, 2. That's all, 2. Then look up the average operational usage under the 5-7. It's going to be 24 to 29 gigahertz. And under MIMO, it's going to be 60 with an absolute span of 300, which is going to be wide gamma. Go look it up. I want you to. So all these people that are sitting there telling me I'm nuts and I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about, go put 2 grapes and put them side by side touching each other and put them in the microwave for 1 minute and watch what happens. Then put one in just by itself. You think it's funny? It's not funny. Why is it that under 2.4 gigahertz, if you have a pacemaker, they said, don't be standing in front of the microwave. Oh, bad idea. Well, if the operationals of your 5-7 and it's being installed all over the world is 24 to 29, and again, under MIMO, which is maximum in, maximum out for downloads of the movies and the music and all the other BS you want to add to it, is under 60 gig. Try to imagine what's going to happen. Let's see, I tried to do an inquiry today on how many people in the United States had pacemakers. And it was in the 600,000 department. Now, I don't know if you've seen the footage. There's footage coming in from other countries where all these birds are suddenly falling out of the sky. Gosh, I wonder why. Now, you got to remember, let's pretend we're going to do a little exercise today. This hand right here is just going to be a tower. This is going to be the secondary daisy chain of the tower. This is going to be the camera. So that's going to be the first. This is going to be the repeat. And then you got one over here and all that. Now, let's say this, through this span, is going to be the field of the 5-7 that is technically it's going to be in the high infrared levels. Okay, a bird comes flying by and go woohoo, flies by. Oh wow, it kind of gave me a headache. Yeah, flying around, then comes by. I was like, oh man, I'm losing my vision, and then flies back, and then it's on the ground because now it's disorientated. It's lost its vision. It's lost its, in other words, it went right in line. So you're not right in line with this thing. No, you're not. You're not. Because those things are between 50 and 150 feet in the air or even higher in the air. But they're also being daisy chained. Doom, 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 because they have to be. So try to imagine when that much energy is at least in this area. Again, when you send out, when your phone, even though your phone technically is a slave, because when you have a transmitter, that's the master. The transmitter, whatever the transmitter may be, is giving out the command. And under basic telecommunications, under the tip and ring, once it's received, then your phone activates or complies with the command, where you get your ring. Or if you have your ringer off, it goes to vibrate. See, when it's going with copper, that's called low voltage, because it is low voltage. It's about 48 volts. If the phone rings, and if you had your fingers on the 66 M150 block, and you had your one finger on the tip, one finger on the ring, as soon as that call came through, you'd be electrocuted at 48 volts. Sometimes it might be a little higher, a little lower. It's in that area. Make the hair stand up on your arm. It's the same way. It's the same sort of thing with your cell phones. Because whatever the transmitter is, whether it be somebody else's phone, that transmit a command to your telephone number, goes to the tower, goes to your phone adheres to the command and either rings, vibrates, or whatever. Same thing when you open your phone. The first thing you see is your time. Your time is calculated by the time clock of your state. Here it's Boulder in Colorado. It's Boulder. That's why if your phone absolutely has almost zero power, but there's enough sustaining power to show time, that's the first thing that's going to be registered is the time. Because if the time is backwards or if it's off, either ahead of the time or behind the time, your phone will not work. Are you aware of that? And if you doubt what I'm saying, get with somebody in IT. If your computer is information, it won't work. So time is really important because you have your date, your day, your hour, your minute, your second, and millisecond. The millisecond's important because that will verify whether or not you sent that text or whether or not you received that phone call or the duration of the telephone call. Unless you had to prove that somebody was pulling your leg or somebody accused you of something you never did a bajillion years. All calls are recorded by Amdocs. Amdocs subsidiaries are everywhere all over the United States and the world. This is why the millisecond is so important. But that's something totally different. When you're talking about gigahertz, again, I want to remind you, your microwave is about 2.4 gig. Go look, I want you to. Put 2 grapes in there and watch what happens. Videotape it, I want you to. Stand back a little bit because it's going to turn into plasma. So now you want to know, I'm not changing my opinion. This 6-foot stay away from me's has everything to do with a big 5'7". Sure does. I'm convinced. Absolutely. Because again, let's say there was 15 old guys sitting around playing checkers in Long Beach. All of them are, let's say, 70, 75, 80 years of age. 4 of them have pacemakers. The other 2 don't. Is it going to matter? No, it's not going to matter. Because they're going to be like 2 grapes in a microwave. If that command comes in or that individual is susceptible either by immune system or a pacemaker or whatever, oh my, we couldn't have that. Because those cameras on the street are going to catch 6 dudes just dropping like a sack of potatoes for no reason. Let me show you something, ladies and gentlemen. I need to share this information with you. Anybody that's a nurse, love to hear from you on this topic because according to Scotty Anthony this afternoon, the autopsies are being made. Isn't that special? And let's find out what the autopsy results are. Anybody that wants to participate, there's a link right there. Let's go ahead and read. Autopsies of the Wuhan Wiggle patients are showing wide intravascular inside the blood vessels, right? And intrapulmonary inside the lungs. Coagulation, that's clotting. What causes clotting? Heat. It sure does. Isn't that neat? It's the darndest thing. Have you ever noticed when, let's say, you're a working man and you're doing some woodworking and you penetrate your finger with, I don't know, a nail. And it's like, ow. And you usually just don't go, ow. You usually go, right? And if it's in the wintertime, you will bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed, buddy. You sure will. Until you can Band-Aid out. If it's in the middle of the summer, you might bleed a little bit and then it'll be all clotted up. See how that works? That's exactly how that works. Sure does. If you have higher blood pressure or you have lower blood pressure, why is it that these autopsies are coming in talking about clotting? Oh, what's really strange is, at 60 gigahertz, oxygen is taken right out of the air. It sure is, because it moves the particles in such a way that in itself causes friction, which causes heat. Wow. The main component in the body is iron through your blood. It sure the hell is. And just think all the people that took the roll up your sleeves year after year after year after year after year with that wonderful substance called thimerosal, which is mercury. Sure the hell is. So I would really love to ask old Blinky up there or the Keebler Cookie Elf. I'm sure you have a statistical margins of all the people that were taken out but not to lunch. First question, which one of them got shots? Annually, there's going to be record of that. Yes, there would be. Sure would be. That'd be the first question. Second question, how many of these people had pacemakers? That'd be the second question. Because if it would be all of them either had pacemakers or took the roll up your sleeve, that's going to mean a lot. This is why you have somebody that's 35 and they're dropping like a sack of potatoes, and another one might be 45 or 27 or 19 or whatever. But how many times have you seen with your own eyes, ladies and gentlemen? Hell, I know in my state, they gave them away for free. They sure did. Matter of fact, entire church goers would go in groups. That'd all be done for free. As you saw in the advertisements, talking about, oh, we're going to give you a free turkey. Go get one of those. Why? Why? Nothing is free. There's an old saying, no free lunch. Somebody's getting a kickback somewhere. You can't give a turkey away for free. How much is a turkey on average? 20, 25 bucks? At least 10. At least 10. So how is it possible that you would get a free turkey? These businesses, whether Target, Piggly Wiggly, Winn-Dixie, right? Walmart, Walgreens, they are in this to make this thing called money because they're private entities. So how would they be able to work in conjunction with the pharmaceutical department to give away a turkey for free? Somebody is paying for that turkey. Who would it be? I guess a lawsuit you'd have to find out by filing a lawsuit under discovery. But chances are, all these dudes, they are now working for the Wuhan Wiggle White House task force. And all they have to do, you file a lawsuit, all they have to do is go, national security card, and everything's dropped. Did you know that? That's a true story. True story. So think about that. For all you nurses, come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You talk about medicine, I'll talk about frequency. How's that? We'll talk about how frequencies and the implementation of frequencies at certain heights of frequencies can change the freaking molecular structure of solid iron. Yeah, let's talk about it. Seeing that iron is a #1 component of the blood. Yeah, let's talk about it. Again, let's reiterate. When someone sneezes, minimum, the particles, when you're sneezing from your nose and your mouth, travel 25 feet minimum. A cough is 15 minimum. So why is it that the social distancing is only 6 foot? And if this Wuhan wiggle was so serious, why in the world are all of the fast food joints open? I'm just curious. How many people have been in a kitchen, either at McDonald's or Wendy's or Arby's or Burger King? That is impossible to keep a 6 foot distance from each other. It's impossible. It sure is. So what about that? And seeing that they're serving food to all of everybody. How is that possible? That is contradictory in itself. It sure is. Because of how many people can be served per hour while waiting in a car, while 4 to 8 people are in close proximity to each other while delivering food, breathing on it, right? Touching it, being in close proximity, not only to each other, but to the food itself, not including the cash, right? Hey, man, you guys want to play games? Give us some evidence on how your 6 foot distancing garbage is even working. It's not working, obviously. You're admitting it yourself. You're saying the numbers are skyrocketing, while at the same time burping out of your mouth that the mitigation is working. Well, which is it? Is it working or is it skyrocketing? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Hogwash, hogwash. No, hogwash, nonsense. No. Matter of fact, if anybody doubts what I'm saying, there's a meter that you can buy. It's a frequency meter. It sure is. And you can drive down the road, and the closer and closer that you get to the 5-7 towers, you will notice that spiking out of control. You will also notice that if the mechanism of your phone is turned off and you have it, it'll turn it on. Watch what happens. Go to make a call. Watch what happens. You think this is all a joke? No, it's not a joke. Why is it that the Wuhan wiggle map matches up damn nearly perfectly with all the 5-7 tower map? I was just curious. Have you noticed the entire continent of Africa is unaffected for the most part? Have you noticed? And of those cases that are in Africa, you will notice under written articles of those nations that most of those cases were imported from other nations. You know what's really strange about that? The infrastructure for 5-7 in Africa is minuscule in comparison to all of Europe, all of Asia, and the United States. Isn't that neat? It's very neat. Yeah, true story. Go check. I want you to. Matter of fact, High Impact Flicks put up a great video about that, showing that exact thing. I'm sure it's just a coinky-dink and all. Of course it's not. One does have something to do with the other, and they know it. Yeah, they do. This is all about control. Now, here's another thing. They are using, this is common knowledge, they are using everyone's cell phone for tracking devices. They've already admitted it several times. So guess what you're going to do to counter it? You can buy a phone pouch that essentially creates what is called a Faraday cage to keep your signal from emitting out. In other words, all GPS, it disables all of it. Or if you want to go on the my budget way of things, just go get some tinfoil, rip it all, crumple it up, very gently uncrumple it, wrap it up like a hot dog, put it in your pocket, go for a walk. Because guess what? The last relay of the GPS stamping is going to be where you left it, where you wrapped it. They're going to be like, oh, the guy's at home, and you ain't at home. You're 50 million miles away. And they have no record of it. See? And then when you get back, just undo it. When they start doing tabulations, they're going like, wait a minute. Everybody can't be at home because they're all out on the street. We can see them with our satellites. The police can see them. How come we can't figure it out through telecommunications? Because you just created poor man's Faraday cage. That's how. I've never been into people following me around, on my cell phone. That's why when I go on a trip or something, or hunting, or fishing, any of that nonsense, I wrap that thing all up. Sure, dude, you ain't going to follow me, buddy. Sorry. No. The last register you're going to have is at the house. You mad, brah? What I'm saying is there are ways to handle this. There are ways to keep the man from eyeballing you. There sure is. The tinfoil trick works really good. Real good. Can't flatten it out. You're going to have to do it like you couldn't use the same tinfoil every single time. You'd kind of like have, because it flatten out and that. You don't want it flat. There's 50-50 chance that the signal could get through if it was flat. But if it's crumpled, impossible. No, it's not going to get through. Because the jagged edges confuse the signal. It goes, oh man, we can't find it. We're going back. It goes right back in town. Yep. So everyone was always wondering, they're like, why is it only affecting the elderly? Why is that? Well, it makes great sense to me. Well, all the elderly, and you know who I'm talking about. Not all of them, but a lot of them. 40% of the elderly, 40% received roll up your sleeves every year. Sure did. What's 40% of our population? I'm just curious if anybody knew. It's over 100 million. And see how that works? And then if you do, like I've already done before, it's over there on Twitter if you don't believe. We did a statistical ranking financially of the elderly population in all these countries against their national debt, against their GDP. And you'd be astounded what you saw. This was before the big crash. In other words, all of these countries, their financials were going to crash anyway. They needed something to blame it on. So you didn't flip out and blame it on them. So now they have the perfect scapegoat. They're telling you they're going to give you $1,200 or $3,000 or whatever it is. Did they say it would be interest-free? No, they did not. Well, why not? Because your grandchildren and your great-great-grandchildren will be paying for that. Like I said, no free lunch. Why is it all these companies are giving free services, but the Federal Reserve, who controls your money, and for the most part has been stealing from you all of your life through the strong arm of the IRS and stealing from you every year of your labor and they're going to give you $1,200 back like they're doing you a favor that you're going to pay interest on? Well, let me tell you what's going to happen. By the time you get that check, inflation is going to grab you by the ass, guaranteed. Between 25 and 50% of what it is now. And how are you going to regulate that? How are you going to be able to tell? Through 1 pound of hamburger. That's how. Do know that before this crisis started, a pound of hamburger was around $4. It sure was. Give or take where you were in the nation, in the United States. Watch and see what it's going to be in 2 to 3 weeks. Watch and see. It'll be 6. It'll be 7. It'll be 8. Watch. Which means your $1,200 was not $1,200. Your $1,200 was $600. Or it was $800. But by the time you got to pay it back with all of the interest, that'd be another thing I'd sit there and ask. Mr. President, why is that $1,200 or $3,000 stimulus package? Does that come with interest? Yes or no? Put him on spot. Because if he said yes, that's not a stimulus package. That is more theft. So if the autopsies are coming back where they have coagulation of the blood, especially in the veins, and then some glass effect in the lungs, well, alrighty now. I'm absolutely convinced that 5-7 plays a monstrous part in this. I'm absolutely convinced. Can I prove it absolutely right now? No, but I'm working on it. You bet your ass on that. And I think what I might do, if I can figure out a way to do it, maybe I can do it with a portable radio. Maybe create a mechanism. In other words, I'd have to custom make the damn thing. Probably hook it up to my vehicle, put a camera on it, and then drive around and watch it react to how I think it'd react. You understand what I'm saying? Like in real time. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but in other words, when you have a meter, people could dispute a meter because they could say, when was it calibrated last? Right? You play that game. Oh, maybe the batteries were overcharged. Maybe you had some electromagnetic. Maybe there was static. Maybe it's this, maybe that. You know what I mean? It's different. But if you took something that's equivalent to like a pacemaker and you built something in that area with a spindle on it, I'm just thinking out loud, and you had a camera, you affixed that to your vehicle and then put a camera pointing right at, and you just drove around knowing where the towers were. And you got some sort of reaction, whether it be electrical reaction, a motion reaction, that's possible, or an arcing reaction. That would be substantial evidence right there. Because once you drove out of it, then you could test the distance of the actual physical tower in comparison with the gizmo that you custom made. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense to anybody, but I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm seeing in my head on how that could be proven one way or the other. It could be also proven through the phone itself, but I don't have a smartphone because the smartphone's a dumb idea. There's ways to figure it out. There's ways to test it so you can show the public that this is not a game. No, it's not. No, it's not. One does have something to do with the other. Absolutely guaranteed fact. That is my opinion. Like I said, I can't prove it substantially right now, but it's making all the sense in the world to me. Let me pull up the, I have an idea. Hold on. there might be a way to show you. Let's go. It would be FIN maybe. Hold on a second. And so that's going to be. Okay, so that's going to be thin. Let's see. Let's go under. Wait a minute. Let's go. Maybe that would be. All right, hold on a second. All right, let's see if that works. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, so that would be under EHF. All right, let me go ahead and read this part. Oh, here, let me give you the link so you can see it too. That'd be EHF, not UHF, EHF. Okay, here we go right here. So that way you know I'm not telling you a story and I'm not just making it up. Extremely high frequency, EHF, is the International Telecommunications Union, ITU, designation for the band of radio frequencies and electromagnetic spectrum from 30 to 300 gigahertz. Wow, that's strange because as we know, microwave is 2.4, that'd be gigahertz. And then let's see, the operational spectrum for the average smartphone is about 24 gigahertz to 29. So it's just under, but under MIMO, which is maximum in, maximum amount for download ratios, it's 60. Huh. All righty, that would be. All right, let's continue. It lies between the super high frequency band and the far infrared band. And of course, you can pull up the far infrared. So there we go with our colors again. You got your red and your yellow. Your lower part of which is terahertz band. Yeah, you start getting terahertz. Oh, goodness. Radio waves in this band have wavelengths from 10 to 1 millimeter. So it's also called millimeter band. Okay, so what I'm trying to say to you is, let's see if it gives the, hold on a second. But there's got to be the black frequency too. Hold on a second. In other words, all you guys that have ever done this, if you had the repeaters, you know, up on the, when you go to on the skyscrapers and you got a microwave here and then you got another microwave and they're communicating between the, you know what I'm talking about, right? They make you sign that damn OSHA form that you're not to stand in the direct line. And if you do, then you're responsible for whatever you do. That's under OSHA regulations, right? Weapon systems. Millimeter wave, if you go to that, here, let me give you the link again for the people that want to participate. Go down to the weapon systems. Okay, hang on a second. In that same link, if you scroll down a little bit, scroll down to where it says weapon systems. Millimeter wave radar is used in short range fire control radar in tanks and aircraft, automated, you know, metal protectors, on naval ships to take down incoming missiles. The small wavelength of millimeter waves allow them to track the stream of outgoing, yeah, those, as well as the target, allowing the computer fire control system to change the aim to bring them together. With Raytheon, yeah, I know those guys pretty well, the U.S. Air Force has developed a non-lethal anti-personnel weapon system called active denial system. Now, that's what I was talking about. That's like crowd control. And it goes into like a wedge like this, and it heats up. It'll go, let's see, it penetrates the skin. I think it's an inch and a quarter, inch and a half, something like that. In other words, it heats it up, right? Kind of like a microwave. Kind of like, in other words, it'd be like you being inside of a microwave, but you're out in the open air. That's how it works. The weapon causes a person in the beam to feel an intense burning pain, as if their skin is going to catch fire. That's it right there, buddy. And hold on a second. If I'm not mistaken, the big 5.7 is millimeter wave. Is that not right? So how is it all these knuckleheads are running around saying, oh, it's safe, when you just read under the weapon systems that is dangerous, but under telecommunications, it's not? No, you're speaking the same exact language. You're just calling one the other and one something else when they're the same, technically. So how is it that these autopsies are coming through? And according to the Scotty Anthony, they're suggesting coagulation. Huh, that's strange. Oh, would that because of the fever? Is that right? Yeah, okay. Again, what is the ratio of these people's age? Did they have pacemakers? Did they get the roll up your sleeve the last couple of years, which in fact has a substance called thimerosal that's really mercury? I was just wondering if anybody can help me out there. Because if you take mercury and you put mercury inside of a microwave, it'll bubble it. Damn right it will. Sure will. Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let everybody know that the techno vigilantes, we're up to 7 now. 7. Just saying. And that has been predominantly of Europe, in Europe, United Kingdom. Oh, but believe me, it'll be coming here for sure. Guaranteed fact. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So, was it proven irrefutably that one is the other? No, not irrefutably. Because a test needs to be conducted live to show you. In other words, the causes of that, of what is potentially could happen. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that. That's all. In other words, a meter, again, somebody sits there argue with you for 10 years. Oh, well, how do you know it's calibrated? And maybe the batteries are old, or maybe they're too new, or maybe you're too big, or whatever. Who knows? You almost need to run a live test to prove heating. You see what I mean? In a certain ratio, either 6 feet, 5 feet, 4 feet, 3 feet, something like that. It'd be difficult to do. That is not true. That is not true. No. That is not true. It has been tested, and they do know. Because it affects the sweat glands. Wow, what do the sweat glands do? Yeah, that's where your body says, hey, you know what? It's a little hot in here. I think I'll sweat a little bit. And that's dealing with water. So now you have, well, it'd be salt water, technically, because when you sweat, there is, that's one thing man has to have in life is salt. If If you don't have salt in your diet, you're in deep trouble. So the thing is, what is that? Well, of course you read that it's not dangerous. Because if it was found out to be dangerous, then so many people would be raising all kinds of cuss about it, and they wouldn't be able to implement it. But that's not true either, because there's a lot of things that are considered dangerous, but they're still there, aren't they? Yes, they are. Yeah, I agree with you there, Travis Scott. I agree with you. Rupert, ladies and gentlemen, I need to send a tweet because I need to share some information with you. I forgot to do earlier, but Rupert over there, he kind of helped me out, remind me about a tweet that I need to send out. Now, as you know, Polly over there, she was having a hard time getting some information. Well, I don't know if she saw my comment or not, but we got the information for her. And we were able to obtain the information quickly. The information that she was seeking was the semi-library. And she wanted to know, and that was under one of the hospitals' URL. Went into the Wayback Machine and got the last final year in association with the semi-library. And that was of 2015. Okay, so it wasn't current. But hold on a second. Let me so I haven't tried to, find out who Polly is, or, otherwise I'd call her up on the phone and tell her, but I want to creep her out. So I can email it to her or whatever. I put it on her video where she's showing this stuff about the Dr. Colleen, right? That one there. Hold on a second. Here it is right here, ladies and gentlemen. The video that she's talking about, the apocalyptic video, the apocalyptic. All right, dang it. The Dr. Colleen Elmhurst video was a production. Yeah. Okay. So for the people that saw that, for the people that saw the Elmhurst apocalyptic production, or the video where the lady is walking around, she's saying she's in the ER and all these ventilators and all that stuff. I want to share something with you, ladies and gentlemen. That was an actual production, and we can prove it. There's a proof right there. Let's go ahead and go through it, shall we? Producer, Robin. Editor, Caroline. Assistant editor, Meg. Senior producer, Whitney. Archival research, Dyla. And executive producer, who I contacted today, Mark. Isn't that neat? In other words, what you were seeing was not a woman that is somebody that works in ICU just running around with her own camera. Wrong. It was a production, which means they all worked in unison. You can tell that a lot of that footage was either stock footage or it was taken right there. And then you could tell by the quality of the video that that wasn't the same camera. You could tell. Because in one frame, you'd have the picture like this. In other frames, it would be widescreen. This is how you can tell. Second of all, the quality of some of the images were impeccable, whereas other images were dismal. The way it was edited shows that I believe whoever the news organization was working in unison with that woman to provide a production, but to give it a feel as if that it was just some nurse running around Elmhurst Hospital. Got that? True story. And that proves it right there. Now, from the information that we could find, does this woman work at Elmhurst University? I believe that she does, after looking into it really deeply. I believe that she really does. Because there's too much information stating that she does. Does she work in ICU? No, I don't believe she works there. I don't think she works in that division. But as far as working there, yes, I believe that she does. Until somebody shows me otherwise, with the investigation I did this afternoon, it's my belief that she does work there. What is that there, Rose? Will you share the way back? Oh, yeah, let me go get that. I have to go to Polly's video to get it. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can go get it for you, okay? Hang on a second. You know what's really weird is because I was looking under that. Oh, here's another thing. In case Polly sees this video, it's very interesting. Under the SIM library, through the Wayback Machine that went to 2015, I pulled the last entry, which would have been December of 2015. There was an entry in there that looked really weird. It said demonic possession. It was really, really interesting. Okay, hold on a second. Let me go get it. And then I'm going to start taking calls from you cats. If you want to call in, you're welcome to. If you don't, then don't. So let's go Amazing Polly, I think it is, right? Is that the one? Yes, that would be her. Okay, so let me go to the real world simulation and pull up the comments. I hope there wasn't too many comments today. Huh? There probably was. All right, so newest first. That was done under the Montagraph live channel. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, man, I'll be going back for years. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get it another way. Quicker. Because she was saying she couldn't find that information, but there was some other information that was obtained also. Not only was it SIM library, but there's another organization that's involved. I don't know about that specific one. But it's like all the other ones that were found out in Connecticut, New York, Denver, Colorado was the first one way back in the day. Hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, there it is right there. Ah, that was quick. All right, let's pull it up. There it is right there, 2015. Let's go all the way to, actually, it wasn't December. It would be November. November 19th, 2015 was the last entry. Getting a redirect. One moment. Got it. So here it is right here. That was easy. And let's see where it is right there. It's the third entry. It says demonic possession. Really strange. All right. So Amazing Polly, if you just happen upon this video or somebody shares it with you, there is the link right there, ladies and gentlemen, that shows that the last entry for the semi library was in fact in 2015, November 19th. Okay. Who is this? We got a super duper up here. Ah, where'd you go? You disappeared. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if I can get you. The Groove. Monty, you're aware that Dr. Burx's medical license expired in 2014? Has no current license? No, I'm not aware of that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead, and we haven't even gotten into them yet. There it is right there again. But to share some information with you, back in 2012, not only myself, but Dabu 7 also, we found information dealing with these actors, if you get my meaning. In other words, entire companies that specialize in that sort of thing. Well, it was obtained today that there is an organization that exists in the United States dealing with medical that does just that sort of thing. Simulations. Let me get that for you now. And it was found by accident. And looking for that stuff over there. So what is this called? This is called hold on a second. I think I got that spelling wrong. Hold on a second. Ah, that was it. It's I, not E, knucklehead. Okay. Let me just go ahead and post it up for you. Okay, I don't know if this has already happened or not, but apparently there's an entry for 2020 for Dallas, Texas. I'd have to look into that. Okay, hold on a second. This is it right here, ladies and gentlemen. Sim Ghost. Okay. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? My buffoon. The link has an error. 500 internal. Oh, boy. It's a bad link. It's not a bad link. Okay, I'll tell you what. You know why it might be doing that is because I got an idea. Okay, hold on a second. Let me go back. Let me go back. I got a way around that. So let's go Twitter. I think the reason why is because the Wayback Machine. Hold on a sec. Let me try something else. Paste. God dang it. Got that wrong. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to do something else here real quick. Okay, let me go to history. Go to history. Go to the Wayback. Internal archive. Okay. Let's go to there. Where's it at? There it is right there. It's right on top. Okay. So what I'm going to do is browse history. What's the URL? Okay. So that's going to be 19. The redirect. Oh, you know what it might have been? It might be because of the redirect. Now let me try something anyway. Okay, so copy this. See if this will work. Do a little machine manipulation. Let's see if it'll work. Okay, hold on a second. Tweet. Let's see if it works. Now, if I click on it, what happens? Ah, 500 error. Damn it. Okay. Let me get rid of that. Delete. Okay. So I know how to get around that even so, no, it's giving me a 500 also. Okay. So back to Google, go back. Society for Academic Emergency Medicine. Simulation Case Library. Okay, let me back that up. Let me back that up. Whoop, stop. There it is right there. Now, get the URL. Because that will give you everything you need to know where you can pull it yourself. Does that make sense? So that's going to be right here. That's what you type in. So in other words, it's not the reason why it's given a 500. That's right. It's because when I click on the initial, it has the initial URL and then it goes into a redirect. That's why it gives a 500. So that's all right. There's ways around that garbage too. And we just figured out a way around it. So it doesn't matter to me. All right. So let's go like that. Let's publish this way. I'm going to give you the tweet right here so you have it. What's that? Right there. Right there. There it is right there. Finally. Sorry that took so long, guys, but yeah, it was giving me problems, but that's okay. We got to figure it out. Who cares? You know what I mean? Here it is right here. Sorry that took so long. I really apologize for that. There you go right there. There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. And now you have it, okay? As piece cake. There it is right there. All you got to do is type it in by hand. Piece cake. It's not that long of a string, you know, big deal. So that was November. On the redirect, it says 12/12. In other words, December 12th. I don't know why it does that, but it does. But the last entry on the Wayback Machine is, in fact, November 19th. So I don't know how many mods are in here. There you are right there. That is the last entry. If you pull it up, it does say demonic possession. It's like weird, man. I'm like, why would they do a simulation on demonic possession? That's strange. Strange. I'll be sure to get that to Amazing Polly, so she'll have it. What is that? 5%? Wow, that's strange, because in the United States, the Keebler Cookie Elf said it was less than 1%. Excuse me, less than 0.1%. Yeah. And then the Sim Ghost, that one's really weird. I didn't look at that one yet, but they're saying something about Dallas, Texas 2020. So I don't know if that one's already happened or not. We'll see. So just try to imagine this. Again, if the Wuhan wiggle is affecting predominantly the elderly, why is the rest of the country locked up? It doesn't make sense, does it? No, it don't. Nope. It's all about power and, you know, blaming the invisible enemy on the financial collapse. It was going to happen anyway, so. Well, no, we'll never get back to landlines. That'll never happen. I was just going to say I was going to take calls, but somebody's calling me anyway, so. Hello. Yes. Hold on a second. You're calling in for the show? Okay, hang on a second. All right, now you gonna behave yourself. You're not gonna be naughty or anything, and other people gonna listen to us. Okay, all right. Go ahead and speak freely. What's on your mind?
Oh, I was just wondering what your thoughts are on how they could throw a little bit of icing on that little wiggle case we got going, and with smart meters, how that would expedite their little plan, and also aluminum oxide, strontium, and barium, nanoparticulates within the lungs.
True.
Still throwing that out there.
That's an interesting. I didn't think about that. I did think about the IoT, because the IoT is Internet of Things, and that's your, like, you know, the smart homes now.
That might sound silly, but that kind of dawned on me about a year ago when I started looking into the smart meter action, and then found out how flammable aluminum oxide and the nanoparticulates that they're shooting up there. I mean, hey, you know, let's just throw a whole recipe together, huh?
You know, I didn't think about that.
Yes, sir. I'm down here in Littleton. I'm your friend. You take it easy, Monty.
Thank you very much for that. I'll keep that in mind and look into that.
Yeah, I think they got a big game going here. Talk to you later.
All right, thank you.
Bye. You're welcome. Bye.
And he's got me thinking now. Because, yeah, a lot of the smart meters did go in, like, all over the country. See, we got a smart meter, but it's not hooked up to anything. The reaction of the lungs looks like glass. I don't know. I might have to think about that, and that was weird. You're almost going to have chemistry communications or something. Hello. Hello.
Hey, Monty, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, sir? What's going on with you? You know other people going to listen to our conversation?
Absolutely.
Okay, and all right, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hang on a second here. I think I know who that is. All right, go ahead, sir. Speak freely. What's on your mind?
Hey, this is one of your subscribers, long-time subscribers from Los Angeles.
All right.
Bystander. Here's my tag name. I came across a video on Facebook from Russia that says simple soft clothing type RFID tag inside them, somewhere in a pan, screwed up with antennas, receivers, transmitters, and a little icon shows you how it works. And I posted that on my channel, like 2 minute videos, just the last post, so that you know they're using all kinds of we call it frequencies already without us knowing. So it should be a heat to other people right now listening too. Check their clothing for that kind of tag.
Okay.
And I appreciate you, man. You have opened so many eyes for me and many near me that are so rare here in LA. I don't know why. There's nobody in LA. Surprising. And that's it. I don't want to keep it long. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Huh. Interesting calls coming in, man. That one about the smart meter starting to bug me, though, for real. Yeah, but not all houses have smart meters. Yellow. Okay. Okay. Hang on a second, Mary. Hang on a second. All right. Go ahead and speak freely. What's on your mind?
Okay. These things actually go together when they're trying to make us think it's one thing, and then they're telling us it's going to go away and then come back again. Because this particular illness has the ability to come back in a few months. Okay, so here we go. Dana Ashley, ASHLIE, panel.
I know who she is.
Has a New York doctor who's talking about how these ventilators aren't helping, and that we're going in the wrong direction with treatment. And it's actually harming people because the ventilator forces your lungs to work. That's
right.
What it's doing. You say these people's lungs work. The problem is there's no oxygen uptake. What does that sound like? Okay, now I've been binging on researching this today. It's insane. Okay, so now you cut to Anthony Steele. Steele, S as in Sam, Teele. Okay, his channel. He's got a LED street lamp that he's taken apart. Okay, and he shows the wires that are very small that go to the LEDs because they don't take much electricity. Then he shows this cable that goes to a scanner antenna, and I mean, the scanner antenna has a 450 volt capacitor going to it, and it also has two other 450 volt capacitors. And these are the street lights that you see with the little top knot on the top.
Yeah.
Okay, and that top knot is actually a cover for the tip of the scanner. Okay, but that's an unbelievable amount of like 3 times 450 volts. Holy shit!
Watch your language, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. Okay, excuse me. I'm tired, and I'll send you whatever color socks you want. So anyway, do a Google search for 5-7 LED streetlights.
Okay.
And you will see all varieties of these streetlights with the top knots on them. So there's your 5-7 enabled. There's your 5-7 sneaking in. Because in my town, in southern Colorado, every house has smart meters for gas and electricity. And then they've been putting these new phone poles, and the LED streetlights have been here, at least since 2017 when I moved here. But they have the cheaper kind, but they have some of the kind that this guy tore apart on his website. And they all have top knots, and they are all capable of sending a huge amount of frequency. So there you go. They snuck it in. And these street lights you see in every city, and they're just waiting to be activated for the scanner part, I guess.
Very interesting. Yeah, there's a lot to look into, man.
So anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that they all kind of fit together in a strange way. I was expecting to see a different type of antenna for the 5-7, but these are just the street light part of it, not that cone type thing that you do see.
Right.
So anyway, that's it for me.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate that. I'll check him out. Anthony Steele. I got it.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, I've seen these lights, man. They are kind of weird because they have creepy. Yellow. I'll be right back. I gotta block somebody. Want to be a wise guy? You get blocked. That's it. Hello. Yeah. All right. All right. I'll look into him. Yeah, I know Bill. I know Bill. So I'll check him out. All right. Bye. No, that was a guy at Littleton. He was just adding something to his, and somebody put up a video. Oh, Bill over there. Bill still. Yeah, somebody had to go, bye-bye. And off they went. So anyway, yeah, this is really getting kind of crazy. Hello? Hold on a second. Can I put you on where people can hear you or no? Okay, hang on a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Agent 19. Go ahead there, Agent. What's up?
All right. Yeah, I'm aware that everybody's listening to the call and everything. So I was wondering, you mentioned that Fauci said that the mortality rate was below 1%. Do you recall when he said that by any chance?
Yeah, he said it in a journal, in a paper. It was either 1%. Yeah, I think he said it's below 1% or 0.1%, something like that. Hold on. Hold on a second, Agent. Mighty Buffoon or Sprinkles or somebody, go get that article if you didn't mind. The one where Fauci talked about from the Massachusetts or New England Journal of Medicine, where he said that the mortality rate was 0.1% or something like that, or whatever the heck it was. Can somebody get that link? Anyway, somebody will provide the link in the chat. But he did say that about 6 days ago of the New England Journal of Medical, whatever the hell it was.
That's really bizarre because I'm looking at the total U.S. deaths, 8,409, or excuse me, 489. Total confirmed cases, 311,616. If we divide 8,489 by 311,616, it gives us 2.7%.
Well, he said in that art, you got to remember, Dr. Fauci is talking to doctors. He's not talking to the public. He's talking to doctors. Yeah. All the other epidemiologists and all the other people in health. And he did say 0.1% or less. Those are his words, not mine.
But surprisingly enough, I actually think that would actually be closer to a correct figure because I think that there are a lot more positive cases that people know about because of lack of testing. But I mean, I know with the whole 5-7 thing,
well,
you're a different opinion.
Well, dude, here's the thing, Agent. This was making me upset. In the New England Journal of Medicine, he's saying 0.1. Publicly, he's saying, 3 to 4 or 5%. It's ridiculous. What is going on? And why doesn't the President of the United States, why isn't he running this show? Why is he having Blinky and, the Keebler Cookie Elf run the show? This is outrageous. It's like that dude needs to man up and run this country instead of having some sort of dictatorial powers from a little elf or from a computer nerd that's trying to tell everybody that you're not coming out of lockdown until you roll up your sleeve. What the hell is going on here? I mean, everybody on my team, Agent, I know we disagree on a lot of stuff, but I'm telling you, man, there is a direct 5-7 connection. I'm convinced. Can I prove it? No, I can't prove it, irrefutably. But you know what? If I got to take apart a radio and custom make something to show that a heat margin would be triggered at a certain either depth and or footage ratio of an actual tower, that would do it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Well, we know that a microwave can be used that way. So it's like a microwave oven.
I understand. You know what I just thought of? You know what would really work is I could get just a basic one of the old mercury thermometers, and I'd have to custom make a gizmo that would show or maybe even a digital thermometer, the frequency ratio, the closer you got to the tower, if that thermometer starts raising in temperature, yeah, that's exactly what would work. Then that would prove that the frequency is actually doing something to the water molecules in the air. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, we know that it has an effect.
I know it
There
does.
haven't been a lot of studies on what the actual effect is going to be. So that's the issue that I have with the system itself, is that they're putting this out. They know that we're getting into higher frequencies, and we know that other frequencies can be dangerous, and they're introducing this without any long-term studies on their long-term effects.
There were no studies as far as, and if there were, well, the Iranian study is the only study that I could find that actually proves some sort of change in the water molecules. In other words, the vibrations up. That's the only study I could find online. And we all saw what happened to Iran. You know what I mean? I mean, whatever.
Yeah, another thing too, I noticed that your previous caller was mentioning that the respirator, the ventilator, makes your lungs work harder. That's kind of true and kind of not. The way a ventilator will actually work is they use these actually when you're going through surgery, so when you can't breathe on your own, they'll breathe for you. And what it does, it forces oxygen into your lungs, so the cells in your lungs, the alveoli, actually are forced to oxygenate the blood. So it's not your muscles that are being forced to work, it's the lung tissue itself. But it generally does take a lot of stress off your system when you're on a ventilator. But the problem with a ventilator is the longer that you're on one, the more likely it is that you're not ever going to come off of it.
Right. I understand.
Because your lungs get used to not working on it. That's why I keep messing with undergoing any type of major surgery. They try to take them off of those ventilators quick. Like usually within an hour. Actually, usually within 15 to 20 minutes after getting out of surgery, they try to take them off of that because the longer they're on it, the worse it is for them.
Well, you know what? The president burped out of his own mouth today that, you know, the ratio, in other words, the statistics of people recovering from the ventilator is low. So he already admitted what you just said.
Yeah, it's very low. If you go on a ventilator, I think it's basically a flip of a coin. Especially with something like this. If you're in a surgery, if you're going undergoing surgery, the chances of you coming off the ventilator are very high because you don't have a lung injury, right? If you have injuries to your lungs, like pneumonia, for example, and you have to go into a ventilator as a result of that, it's usually a sign that you're close to the end.
True.
The odds of you being able to be taken off of that actually, they drop the longer you're on it. So if someone who's been on a ventilator for 5 days, their chances are higher coming off of it than someone who's been on a ventilator for 2 to 3 weeks.
And that's what the president was. The president alluded to that. He didn't say it outright. He just said the numbers are not good once you get to that level. You know what I mean? Which told me that, well, the survival rate is probably not very high. So why all the crying about ventilators in the first place?
Well, it's because I think some people can benefit from them. A lot of people who go on them can usually be taken off of them relatively soon if they can get the situation under control. The problem is the people who they cannot get under control, they leave them on the ventilator, and then the ventilator itself becomes a crutch that their body starts to depend on. So
right.
Once the original issue is resolved, then you have the issue of trying to wean them off the ventilator.
True.
Which can be very dangerous in and of itself.
All right. Is that about it there?
That's it, actually, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to take more calls. We're going to take this to about 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to end this show under 2 hours, guaranteed. So, all righty then. Thank you very much, Agent. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll see you back in there.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm just trying to think. Let's see, the thermometer thing, the digital thermometer, I don't know if that would work or not, because then you'd have to get the temperature as you're going, then as you're driving, temperature would drop because the cool air. Oh, man, this is complicated, man. Hello. Not bad. Which one? Oh, hold on a second. What's your screen name? What is it? Wolfinator? No, I don't think I saw that video. Hold on. So I'm going to put you on speakerphone, young man. And you're going to speak freely. Is that okay? And you're going to be nice, aren't you? You're going to be like that other woman breaking the rules, are you? She owes me like a red and purple striped sock for that mess. All right, go ahead and speak freely, young man. Go ahead.
All right. I made a video talking about frequencies because one thing I've been doing here is learning about ham radio. And one thing that you'll learn in ham radio is about those frequencies, other than, you know, what you do in your phone tech and stuff, and how those frequencies, if you look into it, how they affect things, like you were talking about with the how you get into the microwave range. And when you're talking to the microwave, how everybody knows how they work, you have all these, you know, frequency waves going through your food or whatever you got in there, and it's, you know, messing with the molecules by heating that up so that it warms your food, because it's got all that radiation going through it. So the same thing with us. You know, you pointed at us, and we're going to cook like a turkey.
Well, see, there are scientists out there that are suggesting that so much 5-7 and the 5-7 interaction with all the individual cell phones, the towers, and everything in between, the repeaters, the satellite, whatever you got going on, is going to actually alter the weather satellites. Well, why would that happen? Because the 5-7 is vibrating and or altering the water vapor. That's why. And that's how they do your weather satellites are picking up water molecules. It can tell you, okay, well, the rain is really heavy here, and then it's light there, and then it's fog here, and then, you see what I mean? So those are studies that have already been done, and scientists are warning that you're going to flub up the entire weather prediction centers. And they've been crying about that for years. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, I've been looking into that myself because I do weather spotting.
Yes.
And so, like, looking into the weather and how that's been affected, I've been watching, like, some people with videos and stuff on that, how, you know about HARP, correct?
Correct. Of course I do.
Okay, so more or less what you're talking about is you got all these microwave towers that are sending out radiation through the airway, you know, through the air that's got water in it, you know. So you heat up an area, and how does weather perform, you know, work? You have heat in one area, cool in another area, and
True.
when they combine, you know, they make your storms. Well, with manipulation, all you have to do is say turn a bunch of towers on in one spot, and get that area to a point where you got all this cool air in another spot that comes in, and you got rain, you know, wherever you want it.
Well, wait a minute. That's another good question I have to look into. See, the problem I'm having here is, first of all, you can say anything all you want. You can give your opinion about everything that you want, anytime that you want. But this is the evidence channel. I need to prove what I'm saying. To prove what I'm saying is going to be so extraordinarily difficult. The only way I can think about doing it is through a temperature reading, through a digital, it'd have to be a digital reader. It couldn't be mercury reader, because the fluctuation just would be just astronomical. So I'd have to have my cell phone on. I'd run a test with it on right next to the digital thermometer. that would get the temperature of the immediate air right next to the cell phone, then turn that sucker on and see if it would fluctuate. Then I'd have another buddy I'd call on Skype and have him call my phone and let it keep ringing, because your tip, your ring, your tip, your ring. See, I'm going old school copper. Your tip, your ring. You're white, you're blue. See what I mean? So
you've seen the videos of like people who would take their phones and they'll take a bag of popcorn and they'll just call their phone, and you'll be able to pop the popcorn with that, with just calling your phone.
right, that's what I'm trying to prove, that there's a heat margin that is substantial under the tip ring scenario. Your tip, your ring, your send, receive. See what I mean? So if the phone is just sitting there and the temperature reading of room temperature is 70 degrees, and then as the phone is ringing, it jumps up to 82, that would prove irrefutably that the phone is having a direct connection to the heat within the immediate area, not only through temperature, but through frequency radiation. Okay? But that part is totally different, because that's a different meter that's going to be able to record the frequency and the influx of the everything has a frequency. I don't care what you say. A corn kernel has a certain frequency. Your heart has a certain frequency. That's why when you have the songs with drums that go boom, 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 those types of songs go to number one because they're great. I'm not trying to be crude. I'm just being honest. Those are great heart/sex songs. And I mean it. I'm not joking, because that's rhythm. Okay? So the rhythm with your heart and the rhythm with your middle part of your whole body, which is your, again, I'm not trying to be crude. I'm just being honest. Everything has a rhythm to it. You see what I mean?
Anybody who listens to, like, say, your hair bands, like Def Leppard is
absolutely.
Who the heck doesn't want to do it when they're listening to Def
Well,
Leppard?
that's what exactly. I'm just saying that it has a lot to do with the heart. It's a lot to do with psychological margins and sexual margins also, because it's all about the rhythm. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Yeah. That's why those kind of songs hit number one, because they're triggering some sort of frequency that enhances, feeling good. That's it.
I want to say, with me being in music myself, I don't really do like guitar or anything like that. I learned piano a long time ago when I was a kid, but I'm more into the EDM.
Right? Yeah, of course. I love that too.
Your beats per minute. That's the whole thing about electric dance, is your beats per minute, and it gets people moving.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing about when you start getting into gamma, when you start getting into high frequency. Okay, when you go, if your average smartphone operations of the 5.7 is 24 gigahertz to 29 gigahertz. Once you get into MIMO, which is MIMO, anybody can look it up all you want. So when you go to download a movie, or you go download music, or a high capacity download, the maximum amount, right? That suddenly jumps to 60 gigahertz, starts taking oxygen right out of the air and right out of your freaking blood. Yeah. Okay. I mean, in other words, if you had it right close to you, that's why they tell you that you're not to have a pacemaker, and you're not supposed to stand in front of a microwave. But if you think about it, a microwave is only 2.4 gig, man. Come on. This is crazy. Yeah. And even though you're behind the glass and shield and ceramic and all that crap, well, so what? There is this thing called leakage. So what I'm trying to understand is, I know that frequencies can be detrimental to the human body. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Because if you take the frequencies, look at the bees. How many bees dropped out of the air over the last 10 years? Billions of them. Bees and birds? Yeah, exactly. So my question is, I'm starting to wonder if there was not some sort of study dealing with the 5-7 and the bat, because the bat, which is a mammal, I believe, I don't think it's considered a bird. I think maybe it is a mammal. These guys work on radar. You know how they fly around? They're all like this, and they don't go on sight, even though they can see, but they go on radar. In other words, they have a different, listen, man, there's something to it. I'm just trying to prove, my main thing is I'm trying to figure out a way to prove a temperature influx between a cell phone and the immediate area of the cell phone through manipulation of a temperature reading. I got to figure out how to do that, because if I can have a guy call me and that temperature raises even 1 degree or 5 degrees, that's irrefutable evidence that there's something to this. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, it does. Other than the fact of, like how you were talking with metals and stuff, how they suppose, they say that they're spraying in the air, and you can see it. You got those lines going through the sky with the planes.
Yes.
You have like say there's metals in all your products. Well, not all of them, but a good portion. Say like this one I brought up in chat was about your deodorants. Deodorants have aluminum in them.
True.
And then you have, I don't know about your sunscreen, how that comes into play, but then the fact of, like you're saying, with injection, they inject metal into you. So you got metal coming at you from all sides. And what is the biggest organ of your body? That's your skin.
You've been picking at me in the shower again. You want to know that question, right? Do you? You want me to answer that for sure? It'd be your heart, buddy.
Yeah. So you got all these metals, and you got your skin that absorbs all these metals, other than being injected into you. And what does that turn you into? One big old white neuron for
exactly. I agree. That's what I'm listen, that's what I'm thinking to myself, how in the heck am I going to prove? Listen, like I said, I'm all about evidence. I'm all about proving something. In other words, not just saying it. Not just saying, okay, well, hold on a second. Under weapons for microwave, which is under Wikipedia, it tells you all day long the millimeter wave can be used as an apparatus through microwave to penetrate the skin to make you feel as if you're being burnt, or which you really are, within 1.5 inches of the skin surface. So you got alpha, beta, gamma. Well, excuse me, infrared all day long. Look it up. I want you to. Under the margins of gigahertz, terahertz, all that stuff, yoda hertz, man, it's scary stuff, because you talk about invisible. Yeah, it's invisible. But by the time you figure it out, you're a goner, dude. You're a goner. My question is, can it be reversed? Can it be reversed? In other words, if you're standing there, listen, this is really boggling my mind. In other words, if I'm sitting here talking, somebody over at the White House picks up the phone and says, we're about sick and tired of this dude. We're about had it with him. He's calling up all the senators and calling up, the Keebler cookie of Dr. Fauci, and he's calling up, people at the CDC at their house, and we're sick of this dude. So go ahead and zap him right now. So if I was talking to you right now and I felt something coming on, the first thing I'd do is I'd throw this phone off in the corner and I'd vacate immediately. All right, you got me? I'd stay the hell away from all water and all metal. I'd just get the hell out. I'd go out into the air, fresh air. Because you'd be able to sense that there was something wrong. My question is, could you reverse it once it was caught? Otherwise, a lot of people will be like, wow, something weird's happening. They just sit there and take it. Well, I'm not going to take it, because I believe that I could tell when something was happening that's irregular. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, plenty of sense.
So I'm trying to figure out if it could be reversed. If somebody is held captive and they're in a hospital and they're on a gurney and they can't move and they're heavily sedated or medicated, and the big old 5-7 comes into the operation either through the cell phones of the doctors, nurses, or the patient, Can it be reversed? I don't believe it can, because it creates what is called cell damage.
Yeah.
Once you damage a cell, it's a done deal. You can't just magically say, okay, let's stop it now. You could stop the frequency, but to reverse the cell damage, I don't think that's possible. And I'm